Hi, my name is Pastor Susan, and I'm the pastor at First United Methodist Church in Whitewater, Wisconsin. The book I'm reading for you today is called Marta and the Manger Straw. It is written by Virginia Kroll, illustrated by Robin Belton, and published by Zonder Kids. In a poor village in Poland, Marta and her mother were leaving church after the early morning Christmas celebration. Pastor Walter told Marta, "Take a piece of straw from the manger. Keep it with you and you will have riches all year. And remember, Marta, there are different kinds of riches." "Thank you, Pastor Walter," Marta said. "Merry Christmas." Marta pulled out a long stem of straw and slid it in the hem of her cape. The next day, Marta walked to her grandmother's house. When she knocked, a raspy voice called, "Come in." "Babcia, you're sick," Marta said. "Yes, child, and I'm almost out of tea. Worse yet, I did not get to church for my piece of straw." Marta quickly pulled out her straw and gave a bit to her grandmother. "Bless you, child," Babcia said. On the way home, Marta heard sobbing as she passed Plendowski's farm. "Why are you crying?" she asked her friend Pela. "Our cow has run off," Pela said, "and now there is no milk or butter for me and my brother Benik." "Oh," said Marta, snapping a second bit from her straw. She folded Pela's hand around it. "Here, take this. It will bring you riches." The next day, as Marta gathered wood for the stove, old Mrs. Walska hobbled by. Clutching her shawl, she asked, "Dear girl, can you spare a log?" Marta knew that she and Mamusha were almost out of wood. But when she saw Mrs. Walska shiver, she felt chilled herself. "Here, take this." She gave Mrs. Walska a fat log. "And wait." Marta turned up her hem and slid out the straw. Snap! Now Mrs. Walska had some straw too. Marta slipped the now very short piece of straw back into her hem. As Marta shook out the rugs, she heard a whine. She spotted two brown eyes in a mass of matted fur the color of harvest hay. "Oh, where did you come from?" Marta asked. The sad-looking dog slowly wagged its scruffy tail. "I don't have a bite to spare," Marta sighed. "Mamusha hasn't been to the market yet, and we have little money." There was only one thing left to do. With a silent prayer, Marta pulled the remaining bit of straw from her hem and slipped it through a snarl in the dog's ragged coat. Just then, Mr. Rafalski's fish wagon rattled by, bouncing hard on the rutted road. Marta waved as she hurried back into the house. After supper, Marta and Mamusha put their last log into the stove and snuggled down to sleep. As they slept, a spark spurted through a crack in the grate. Marta and Mamusha escaped just in time. They clung to each other outside as flames gobbled up their home and everything in it. "It's my fault," Marta sobbed. "I gave away all my manger straw, and now we are worse than poor." "No," Mamusha shook her head. "Your faith in God has made you into a loving, giving girl. And remember what Pastor Walter said. You can be rich even if you don't have money or things." She wiped away Marta's tears as they made their way to Babcia's house. Babcia comforted them. Then Marta realized that Babcia was all better. "I am well, and look at all of this food my neighbors brought me. I was getting ready to celebrate with you. And did you notice the wood stacked outside? A neighbor's tree toppled in last month's storm, and he just dropped that pile off. Why, there's enough to last us all year long. The news about Marta and Mamusha's house spread quickly through the village. Pela and Bennett came by, each carrying a jug of milk. We found our cow stuck in the muck, mooing to be milked. Papa just wanted you to have this. He and Uncle Jan are fixing the fence so she can't escape again. Later, Mrs. Walska hobbled up with 2 beautiful shawls for Marta and Mamusha. My hands were so warmed by the firewood you shared, she told Marta, that I could pick up my knitting again. That evening, Marta watched the crackling fire glow in Babsha's hearth. She heard a scratching sound. What's that? She asked. Babsha said, it's coming from the door. Marta bravely opened it and peered into the darkness. Woof! Marta looked down. There on the stoop was the straw-colored dog with a plump silver fish in his mouth. He wildly wagged his scruffy tail. She smiled as the dog slurped milk from a bowl and gobbled the morsels of buttered biscuit Marta shared with him. Later, Marta brushed the tangles from the dog's unruly fur. You need a name, she said. How about Straw? Woof, the dog agreed. When Marta knelt to say her prayers, Straw sat beside her with his chin on her bed. Pastor Walter was right, she whispered. There are many kinds of riches. Thank you, God, for taking care of us. Woof, Straw agreed again. Then he curled into a fluffy circle at her feet, and they slept snugly and richly all through the night. The end.